Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes.
What was the crime of which you were convicted?
Two counts, one soliciting prostitution and procuring a minor for prostitution.
A shocking video has emerged online, claiming to show young girls inside a mysterious temple on the notorious island of Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire who died in prison in 2019. This video has sparked renewed interest and outrage over secrets and crimes that are yet to be unveiled about Little St. James Island. Well, let me show you the viral video of the kids captured on Jeffrey Epstein's island. The video. On that fateful day, January 4th, 2024, the internet was set ablaze when a video surfaced on X. This video purportedly revealed young girls engaging in playful activities within the confines of Epstein's island. The post's caption, written in Spanish, left viewers with more questions than answers. It read, "One publicly released video out of 100, showing these very young girls from the interior of Epstein's island. What is it that's doing, and to what and why? What are they preparing? What do you see?" To understand the controversy surrounding this viral video, we must first revisit the dark history of Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein, a wealthy financier and convicted sex offender, was at the center of a high-profile scandal that rocked the world.
He asked me to get comfortable, to take, my clothes off.
He was arrested in 2019 on charges of sex trafficking young girls, but before he could face justice, he died in jail at his own hands in 2019, while awaiting trial on charges of sex trafficking young girls.
Next to the new questions around the investigation into the death of Jeffrey Epstein, the accused sex trafficker stunning the world.
While I am angry that Mr. Epstein's death means he will never personally answer to me in the court of law, my resolve to pursue justice is only strengthened.
Epstein's death left many unanswered questions and fueled countless conspiracy theories, but it was his association with powerful individuals and his alleged involvement in a vast network of sexual exploitation that sent shockwaves through society. Fast forward to early 2024, when a judge ordered the unsealing of documents in a lawsuit filed against Epstein's associate and partner in crime, Ghislaine Maxwell. These documents, which shed light on the extent of Epstein's activities, caused a frenzy on social media. Rumors and speculations ran rampant, and the viral video added fuel to the already burning fire. However, there has been no concrete evidence to support the claim that the viral video indeed reveals girls on Epstein's island. People then turned to technology to uncover the truth. Utilizing the power of Google's reverse image search, we traced the origins of the video. Surprisingly, we discovered that it had been shared multiple times in 2019 and 2020, long before it gained viral attention in 2024. One post on Reddit even linked the video to actor Tom Hanks, with a caption suggesting his involvement in illicit activities. But these claims lack substantiation and were likely part of unfounded conspiracy theories. Adding to the confusion, various social media users suggested that the video was not captured on Epstein's island at all. Some claimed it was filmed at the five-star hotel, Titanic Mardin Palace, a Disney hotel in Turkey known for its water parks. Another user mentioned the Anjana Hotel in Turkey, which is now permanently closed, and its owner's association with individuals involved in illicit activities. The video's association with the QAnon and Pizzagate conspiracy theories, as well as the late actor and conspiracy theorist Isaac Kappy, further muddied the waters. Social media users claimed that Kappy had posted the video before his untimely death. Isaac Kappy was a familiar face in Hollywood, known for his supporting roles in films like Thor and Terminator Salvation. But in 2018, he took a drastic turn that would change the course of his life forever.
Steven Spielberg is a Yep. See how easy that was, Corey? I didn't need $10 million. Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a Tom Hanks, folks, is a
Kappy began to accuse high-profile celebrities of being involved in a pedophile blackmail cult.
Is Oprah a Well, let's see. Hanks, Weinstein, the company she keeps, as rich as she is, I don't care. I've already been blacklisted. They can't double blacklist me. They can try to kill me. Good luck with that.
In this Periscope video posted just days before his death, Kappy named names, exposing what he believed to be a widespread pedophile network operating within the industry. Kappy's career seemed to be on the rise, but everything changed when he began to peel back the layers of Hollywood's dark secrets. He claimed that the industry was rife with corruption, blackmail, and pedophilia and that those at the highest echelons of power were involved. Cappy's allegations were shocking, to say the least. He believed that these celebrities used their positions of power to manipulate and control others, using blackmail to ensure compliance. The idea that such a dark underbelly existed within the glitz and glamour of Hollywood was difficult for many to comprehend. In an attempt to determine the exact location depicted in the video of the girls posted on X, it has been compared it with videos and photographs of the spa in the Land of Legends Kingdom Hotel, a popular tourist destination in Turkey. While there were similarities between the room in the viral video and the spa at the Land of Legends Kingdom Hotel, no one has been able to independently confirm the exact location. It is worth noting that similar Turkish baths could potentially be found in other hotels as well. The TikToker. Before the video went viral, the internet had blown up when TikToker and urban explorer Andy Bracco embarked on a daring mission in August 2020 to uncover the secrets of Jeffrey Epstein's private island, Little St. James. This island had never been accessed by anyone in the public. It had been on lockdown since the death of Jeffrey Epstein. This 70-acre island, located in the US Virgin Islands, was purchased by Epstein in 1998 and became the subject of intense scrutiny due to allegations of sex trafficking of minors. Bracco originally posted the clip some years back, but his account was mysteriously removed by the app. However, he recently reposted a clip of his exploration, quickly gaining over 200,000 views in just 2 days.
Going to an island.
This is some deep shit.
Like when you first told me about it, I felt super sick and nauseous, and then I kind of forgot about it until tonight and how serious this actually is. And here we are.
It's a bad idea.
I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this.
Andy's journey began with meticulous planning and extensive research. He knew that Little St. James was heavily guarded and accessible only by private planes and boats. Security measures were still high on the island, even a year after it was seized by the authorities. Undeterred, Andy took into account every detail, utilizing all available resources to ensure a successful and surreptitious visit. Bracco's journey to the private island began with a flight from JFK Airport in New York to the US Virgin Islands. However, he did not disclose how he managed to get onto the island. On the day of his first visit, Andy and his team arrived at a discreet location near the island. They carefully observed the surroundings, making sure to avoid any suspicious activity. The main dock and the main house were off limits as they were heavily monitored by security cameras. Instead, Andy devised a plan to approach the island from a less guarded area. Reportedly, parts of the island still had working electricity, a clean pool and well-maintained palm trees. The tennis court had allegedly been recently demolished. Andy knew that the temple was a focal point of his exploration. Rumors and conspiracy theories had swirled around its purpose, with some suggesting that hidden tunnels lay beneath its foundation. Determined to uncover the truth, Andy and his team carefully maneuvered their boat to a secluded spot near the temple. Once they reached their destination, Andy and his team disembarked from the boat and made their way towards the temple. They moved swiftly and silently, their senses heightened by the adrenaline coursing through their veins. The night was their ally, providing cover as they approached the temple undetected. As they neared the temple, Andy couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. This building, which once had a gold dome, has sparked numerous theories about its purpose, including rumors of secret underground tunnels. According to permit records obtained by NBC, the building was intended to be a music pavilion. With caution, Andy and his team surveyed the area around the temple. They noticed a staircase descending downwards, hinting at the possibility of hidden tunnels. However, Andy stated that he did not see any during his visits.
No tunnels, unless they're really good and covered. Active power.
However, he made it clear that if he had entered the unlocked temple, he would never self-incriminate by revealing how he got in. This would have potentially allowed him access to the tunnels. He did mention that between his 2 visits, he peered into the temple from the outside and noticed a staircase descending downwards. Andy's first visit to Jeffrey Epstein's island was a testament to his determination and meticulous planning. He had managed to explore the island undetected, capturing footage that would later shock the world. One of the most intriguing aspects of the island was the locals' reaction to their presence. Andy had expected hostility or resentment, considering the island's association with Epstein's alleged crimes. However, to his surprise, the locals were more inquisitive than anything else. Andy engaged in conversations with some of the locals who expressed a genuine curiosity about the unknown. He learned that the locals had mixed feelings about the island's notoriety. While they acknowledged the dark history associated with Epstein, they also recognized the island's allure as a place of mystery and intrigue. It was as if they too were drawn to the secrets that Little Little St. James held. In one of the videos, some viewers noticed an image of tunnels. Bracco clarified that the image is unrelated to the island, but mentioned that if he had entered the unlocked temple, he could have accessed the tunnels. Bracco concluded by advising against attempting to explore the island, as he has received messages from copycat explorers who were stopped by Coast Guards, armed private security, or an automated PA system warning them to turn back immediately. He suggested that security may have been heightened since his expedition in August 2020.
Oh, dude, I don't like that at all. Get the f out. Let's get the f out.
The horrors of Little St. James. Little St. James Island, a 75-acre haven in the U.S. Virgin Islands, was not just a luxurious retreat for the rich and famous. It was also a center for an international sex trafficking ring that preyed on young women and underage girls. Epstein acquired the island in 1998, and it soon became a haven for his unspeakable crimes. Epstein's acquisition of Little St. James raised eyebrows as rumors swirled about his questionable activities. Little St. James Island is a small, picturesque island fringed by coral reefs, surrounded by the bright blue waters of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Its breathtaking beauty hides the sinister reality that unfolded within its shores. His secluded island, located just off the southeastern tip of St. Thomas, one of the Caribbean archipelago's 3 main islands, boasts sheltered inlets, forested groves, and dramatic windswept ridges. Its craggy cliffs add an air of mystery to the already captivating landscape. Little St. James Island was not just a tropical paradise. It was transformed into a luxurious retreat by Jeffrey Epstein. Satellite photos reveal a sprawling network of terraces, cottages, beach houses, swimming pools, docks, utility buildings, and even a helipad. Palm-lined roads connected these structures, where golf buggies ferried guests from place to place. One of the most intriguing structures on the island is a squat, boxy, blue and white striped building, often referred to as a temple. Surrounded by a terrace with a red labyrinth motif, this enigmatic structure has sparked numerous theories and speculation. There is a huge sundial at the center of the island, big enough to walk around on. 2 tall American flags posted at opposite ends of the island add a touch of grandeur to the surroundings. Behind its idyllic facade lies a sinister world of allegations and criminal activities that have left a lasting scar on this once exclusive retreat. Little St. James Island became the epicenter of a worldwide grooming scheme, where young women and underage girls were trafficked for sexual assault.
The modeling industry was a clear, easy target for Jeffrey Epstein.
Former employees have come forward with chilling accounts of how the island became a haven for these heinous acts. Locals on St. Thomas whispered darkly about Epstein's activities, referring to his private jets as the Lolita Express, and it was at the local airstrip where the employees witnessed the most disturbing scenes. 2 employees who worked at the local airstrip bravely came forward to share their accounts with Vanity Fair. They described multiple occasions when they saw Epstein boarding his private plane accompanied by young girls who appeared to be under the age of consent. These girls would arrive with Epstein on one of his 2 Gulfstream jets, which were airborne at least 1 out of every 3 days between January 2018 and June 2019.
Almost every trip that I did go on, there were young girls around.
Previously published flight records confirmed the frequent travels of Epstein and his young companions. The jets would stop all over the world, sometimes for only a few hours at a time. From Paris to London, Slovakia to Mexico, and Morocco to New York City, Epstein's private plane became a vessel for his dark exploits. The employees at the airstrip were deeply troubled by what they witnessed. They couldn't comprehend how Epstein, a convicted sex offender, was still allowed to be around children, yet they remained silent, assuming that law enforcement was taking care of the situation. Regrettably, they didn't know who to turn to or if anyone would even care. The employees at the airstrip coped with the disturbing reality through dark humor. Every time Epstein's plane landed or took off, they would joke about the number of children on board. But beneath the surface of these jokes, there was a deep sense of disgust. The employee described it as seeing a serial killer in broad daylight, calling it the face of evil. It was as if Epstein was flaunting his actions, showing no remorse or fear of consequences. Adding to the disturbing nature of these encounters, the girls would sometimes carry shopping bags from designer brands such as Gucci and Dior. The stark contrast between their young age and the luxury surrounding them was unsettling, to say the least. Even the Alexanders, who worked closely with Epstein, grew suspicious of his activities. Kathy Alexander noticed that the girls on the island looked like they had stepped out of an underwear catalogue, often wearing minimal clothing or lounging by the pool completely naked. Concerned about their ages, Kathy couldn't help but wonder if their mothers others knew where they were and what they were being subjected to. Miles Alexander, too, had his share of disturbing encounters with Epstein. He revealed that he had been asked to smuggle in female guests by boat without logging their names and passport numbers with the government of St. Thomas. This request crossed a line for Miles, and he refused to comply. The unease felt by the Alexanders and the other employees continued to grow until they could no longer bear witness to the horrors unfolding on the island. In 2007, they made the difficult decision to quit. The claims made by the Virgin Islands Attorney General's office shed a disturbing light on the extent of the abuse that took place on Little St. James Island and the sinister web of criminal activity orchestrated by Jeffrey Epstein. According to their statement, the Epstein enterprise operated between 2001 and 2019, transporting underage girls and young women to the Virgin Islands. Recruiters working for Jeffrey Epstein, the notorious billionaire sex abuser, targeted vulnerable young women who were easily manipulated and exploited. These victims were lured in with promises of wealth and power, only to find themselves trapped in a web of deception and abuse.
She goes, oh, you know what? I know this guy. There's an opportunity, actually. If you want to become a real massage therapist, we can get you trained. You can come for the interview tonight, and if he likes you, then you'll be a real masseuse. And you'll get to see the world, and you'll get paid $200 per massage.
Court documents allege that Epstein flew into St. Thomas only airport, Cyril E. King Airport. The area where private jets landed was separate from the commercial flights, further aiding in the concealment of his activities. Once on the islands, these vulnerable individuals were then taken via helicopter or private vessel to the infamous Little St. James, where they were subjected to a life of horrors. They were deceptively forced into sexual servitude, coerced into engaging in sexual acts, and even compelled into commercial sexual activity and forced labor.
She led me up a staircase, and we made a right into Jeffrey's room, and Jeffrey laying naked on the massage table. Jeffrey lifts his head up, looks at Guylaine. Guylaine looks at him, and I call it the Cheshire cat grin because his face just went like this, and it was like a nod of approval.
Epstein's criminal empire was not built in isolation. To accomplish his illegal ends, he formed an association with multiple defendants, both companies and individuals, who were willing to participate in, facilitate, and conceal his heinous activities. In exchange for their involvement, Epstein bestowed financial and other benefits, including sexual services and forced labor on the victims. The victims, some as young as 12 years old, were subjected to a life of terror and manipulation. Little St. James Island served as a prison, with Epstein exerting complete control over their lives. Communication with the outside world was tightly controlled, leaving the victims isolated and trapped. The Attorney General of the Virgin Islands, Denise George, emphasized the power dynamics at play, stating that the victims had no means of escape. Epstein's ownership of the entire island made it impossible for a child or young woman to break free and seek help from the nearest police station. Epstein's meticulous record-keeping further exposes the calculated nature of his crimes. He maintained a computerized list of underage girls in or near the Virgin Islands who could potentially be brought to the island, perpetuating the cycle of abuse. The survivors of Epstein's horrors were essentially trapped on the island with no means of escape. One survivor, speaking on the condition of anonymity, shared her harrowing experience. He raped me. He brought me off the island to his office in St. Thomas, and he actually raped me in his office. He also trapped me in his bedroom on the island, where he had a gun strapped to his bedpost. I couldn't leave. The only means of getting off the island was either helicopter or boat. Attorney Jordan Merson represents several alleged victims who are suing Epstein's estate. He encourages others to come forward and file complaints before the legal window closes. In the heart of this scandal lies the courageous voice of Virginia Roberts Giuffre, a woman who has come forward with shocking allegations against none other than Prince Andrew. Giuffre claims that she was sexually abused by the prince on Little St. James Island when she was just 17 years old.
It was a wicked time in my life. It was a really scary time in my life. I had just been abused by a member of a royal family. I didn't know what could happen.
These allegations have sent shockwaves through the world, challenging the very foundations of the British royal family. Prince Andrew, however, unequivocally denies these allegations, vehemently maintaining his innocence. But the impact of Giuffre's accusations cannot be ignored. They have sparked a legal battle that has captivated the public's attention for years. The protracted legal case finally came to a surprising conclusion on February 15th, when Prince Andrew and Virginia Roberts Giuffre settled. The details of the settlement remain confidential, leaving many questions questions unanswered. However, the fact that a settlement was reached speaks volumes about the gravity of the allegations and the desire for resolution on both sides. The lawsuit settlement not only marks the end of a legal battle, but also signifies a turning point in the narrative surrounding Prince Andrew and his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. It raises important questions about accountability, justice, and the power dynamics that allowed such abuses to occur. The shocking allegations surrounding Little St. James Island came to light during the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate. Maxwell was convicted of 5 sex trafficking charges and sentenced to 20 years behind bars. Her trial shed further light on the extent of the criminal activities that occurred on the island. The shocking truth is that Little St. James Island was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Epstein's criminal activities spanned the globe, with a worldwide network of private flights transporting sex trafficking victims to various destinations. London, Paris, Tangier, Grenada, St. Louis, Palm Beach, Atlantic City, and beyond became the stages for these unimaginable crimes. The fate of the Epstein Island. The authorities had made many attempts to uncover the truth behind the mysterious activities taking place on Little St. James. As a registered sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein was required to re-register every year, and officials did make an effort to visit the island in 2018 to verify his address. However, what they encountered was a web of secrecy and resistance. Epstein refused the officers' entry at the dock, boldly claiming that it was his front door. Instead, he insisted on meeting them in his office on the nearby island of St. Thomas. This unusual demand immediately raised suspicions and added to the air of mystery surrounding the billionaire's private paradise. To further complicate matters, Epstein had his employees sign confidentiality agreements that prohibited them from speaking to law enforcement. These agreements not only silenced potential witnesses, but also required them to report any inquiries to Epstein himself. This level of control and manipulation made it incredibly challenging for the authorities to gather evidence and conduct a thorough investigation. The Attorney General's complaint sheds light on the unique challenges faced by law enforcement when dealing with a sex offender who possessed his private islands and had the resources to fly victims in and out on private planes and helicopters. This allowed the Epstein enterprise to operate under the radar, evading scrutiny and limiting the chances of exposure. Moreover, both Little St. James and its neighboring island, Great St. James, were protected areas due to their coral reefs and wildlife. Local planning officials had long suspected Epstein of exceeding his building permits, and the Attorney General's complaint confirms that he was fined thousands of dollars for breaking environmental rules. However, for someone like Epstein, who possessed immense wealth, these fines were merely a drop in the ocean. The complaint argues that Epstein's purchase of Great St. James was nothing more than a smokescreen to conceal the illicit activities happening on Little St. James. The Epstein enterprise acquired the island for a staggering sum of over $20 million, intending to ensure that it would not become a base from which others could view their activities or visitors. After Jeffrey Epstein's death, a fierce legal battle ensued over his vast assets, including the infamous Epstein Islands. The government of the U.S. Virgin Islands sought control of these assets, hoping to use them for the benefit of the victims of Epstein's sexual assault crimes. However, the billionaire's executor fought against the government's request. They argued that the assets should be used to establish a relief fund for the victims, and they asked the government to unfreeze the islands so they could be sold off. In response, the government accused the executor of mismanaging the estate. They claimed that funds were being spent on lawyers, landscaping, and helicopter fees, rather than being allocated to the brave women who had come forward to participate in the compensation fund. This legal battle continued for nearly 2 years, leaving the fate of the Epstein Islands in limbo. But in November 2022, a settlement was finally reached between the U.S. Virgin Islands and the Epstein estate. As part of the agreement, the estate agreed to pay the government $105 million and half the proceeds from the eventual sale of the islands. Additionally, the estate would pay $450,000 to rectify the environmental damage caused by Epstein's removal of centuries-old historical structures of enslaved workers on Great St. James Island. With the legal hurdles cleared, the Epstein Islands were put up for sale, attracting the attention of various investors. Among them was Stephen Deckhoff, an ambitious investor with grand plans for the islands. On May 3, 2023, it was announced that Deckhoff would be purchasing both Little St. James and Great St. James for a staggering $60 million. This purchase price was significantly lower than the original original asking price of $125 million, reflecting the tarnished reputation and controversial history associated with the islands. Dekoff's vision for the Epstein Islands is nothing short of extravagant. He plans to transform the islands into a luxurious 25-room resort, catering to the elite and affluent. With a target completion date set for the end of 2025, Dekoff aims to create a haven of opulence amidst the dark past that haunts these once infamous islands. The announcement of Dekoff's plans has sparked both curiosity and controversy. While some see it as an opportunity for the islands to be revitalized and repurposed, others question the ethics of profiting from a location with such a disturbing history. As the sale progresses and Dekoff's vision takes shape, the fate of the Epstein Islands hangs in the balance. Will they be transformed into a symbol of redemption and luxury, or will their dark past continue to cast a shadow over their future? Only time will tell. And that's it for this video. If you want to see similar stories like this, click on one of the cards on the screen.